We're sitting in the car, Baruch Hashem, our weekly learning Likutei Moharan. We're on our way to a Nisan Black Simcha, Baruch Hashem. We should only have Simchas. Thank you, Hashem, for this. It's such an opportunity to get together with my holy brother Ari. It's been like about 2 weeks since we last learned. I was in London the week before, so there was no way. Maybe even the week before, I don't know if we got to, but I definitely sent you the class. Baruch Hashem, we accomplished, we got through a whole Torah in the Likutei Moharan Lamed Design, and now we're holding a Torah Lamed Ches, which is a big deal because it's a whole new focus. You know, if we just sum up a little bit from last week's and this last Tekufa's Torah, it's really about bringing out the kavod, the honor of a person, no matter what kind of matzav, what kind of learning they're in, whatever situation they're in. Everyone has tremendous Torah within them, a tremendous soul, and by being mechabed them, by honoring them, whatever state they're at, whatever level they're at, it brings out the soul. And that's how Rebbe Nachman was teaching us how to bring every soul back in, even the ones who seem out. Because really, and so I tried to do that when I was in London, and you know, that was the avoda, and it was Hashgacha Pratis. When I came back last week, I was on Lag B'Omer, and I hadn't learned the Likutei Moharan yet. Minna Shemaim, we're learning on the night of Lag B'Omer such a Torah about bringing everyone home, like Rabbi Shimon was a Talmud, Rabbi Akiva was darshaning the Kotzim, the Kes, the Panemius, and now we're in the week of Yesod. That was the week of Hod Shebahod, but now we're in the week of Yesod, foundation, and the foundation is very important to make sure your foundation is good. I just saw a gematria from one of my friends from Rav Simai Zolberg. Yesod is gematria achana, which means preparation. So the most important thing you can do is prepare. Right now we're preparing for Shavuot. So Hashem, Ben Hashemayim, gave us a perfect Torah, just like he did last week, because everything this year is Tehei Shenas Hashgacha Pratis. Tehei Shenas Pei Hei Hashgacha Pratis. Pei Hei is Pratis Hashgacha, so turn it around, Hashgacha Pratis. This is a year of Divine Providence. Everything's flowing the way it's supposed to. Like, you know, I was talking to you about personal things. It's exactly what needs to be done. Right now, I've got a full-on workout schedule. I haven't had one for years. Swimming, the swimming pool open up opposite my house. Couldn't be better. Studio's opposite the house for my wife. Gym's there. I'm doing workouts a few times now, a week now. I'm swimming every day. So it's a big opportunity to get the body to build the right kli. We've been talking about building the kalim. So part of that is having a healthy lifestyle. So in the Mera of Rebbe Nachman, we're going to hopefully learn some Torah that will fill up some of the kalim we're building and prepare us for Shavuot. Be the ultimate achana, which is gematria yesod for Shavuot. So we can have Kabalat HaTorah b'shleimus, do it in a complete way. Each of us have our own portion in Torah. And as the Tzaddikim used to say, people daven really strong Rosh Hashanah for like Panasa. And the Tzaddikim say, but why are you davening for a few cholas? When Shavuos, you're davening for your chelik in Torah, there's nothing more important than your portion in Ruchnius. So the kind of Torah, the kind of your own unique portion of and your mission in this world is connected to your learning and your shleimus in your essence, in your neshama. So the Tzaddikim will make a big avoda leading up to Shavuos, and we'll talk about it hopefully a little bit in the Torah from Rebbe Nachman. We'll see how it connects in. Let's begin the part Torah. So it says in Torah Lamed Ches, the 38th Torah, Mikorves Paro Chelo Yara B'Yam. It's a famous pasuk that we sang Shvi Shal Pesach, that the chariots, the Merkava of Paro and his soldiers were like in the Yam. They were submerged in the Yam. It says in Torah in the beginning of Sif Aleph, Kisar Kol Adam Nispashpeish Etzatzmo B'Choes. And this is something that Rav Shlomo's been talking about, this loshen, Mashmeish, Pashpeish. Every person needs to check himself every moment. Well, Imhu Davik B'Hashem Yisbrach. If he's really close, you see him straight away, he gets into it, because this is the point of Torah. Torah is the Shemus HaKodesh. The whole point of Torah is to connect into what? To be Davik to Hashem Yisbrach. To have a relationship with Hashem. How Davik is the strongest language, because Davik, we use the same lashon in Shalom Bayis. It's like with intimacy. When your Davik, Basa Echad, is a very strong lashon. It's like it's the same in English. It would be like gluing together. It's like the strongest kind of connection. With Davik, you become like one. So when you're learning Torah, really what's happening, you're becoming one. So you have to check yourself at all times. Are you in a state of Devekus of Hashem. This is what the Torah wants from us. And Sefer Devarim, there's many Pesukim and mitzvahs of being Davka Bo, being connected to Hashem. So what the Rashi says over there, how do you connect to Hashem? Hashem is a all-consuming fire. If you connect to Hashem, so how do you do it? Through the Rabbonim, through learning. What we're doing now, learning from Rebbe Nachman, learning from Tzaddikim. Yeah, we had Baruch Hashem, we had like Bomer, we understand, and on Shavuot we have David Melech and Baal Shem Tov, Zelula. Yeah, we have Tzaddikim who teach us how to connect to Hashem, so we can be davik through their teachings. V'siman shel devekus hu tefillin. So Rebbe Nachman says, the way that you check the sign of devekus is tefillin. Think about it. Tefillin, you take your heart and your mind. I've just been learning a lot about this mitzvah of tefillin recently. So tefillin, and every day I do a picture for that guy Moshe Butler's group. You know him, the guy who comes every so on. Who doesn't,
yeah, sure.
All the tefillin groups. So I do a picture every day, and everyone else does as well. Whoever's on the group, hopefully, and we're all putting on tefillin every day, because tefillin you put it on your arm, and that's connected the leiv. That's what we're learning from Dr. Yosef Bornstein right now. We're learning about. Interestingly, we just learned about those who lost limbs. So it's very appropriate. All the injured people are learning from the war. We dedicate our learning to their shmirah, their protection, and the ones who, God forbid, have injured should have healing. But say they don't have a full arm, but the main point of why you have to put it on the arm is so it should be connected a leiv. The whole point is davik your heart to Hashem. Davik, it should be literally davik to your heart and davik to your mind. Your mind and your heart should be consumed with Hashem. Ki tefillin heim siman shel devekus, because tefillin is the sign of devekus. And that's why you saw Tzaddikim back in the day, they would wear tefillin all day. Been to the old city. My daughter was just there yesterday, and she was by the rover, and she went to the famous shul there. What's it called? Where the Churva,
Yeah.
the Ramban's shul with the arch. It used to be an arch, and then they rebuilt around the arch a whole beautiful shul. And my daughter was there, and I remember that was where my wife's stepsister got married. I saw it on video, and I was like, wow, I've got to visit Israel, Yerushalayim, it looks amazing. But now it's a beautiful shul.
Right.
So that was all those years ago when I saw that video. And that brought me to Yerushalayim. So that shul is an example where people sit all day with tefillin on their heads. They're davik to Hashem the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a siman shel devekus, very important. So that's an idea. Now say, what about Shabbos and Yom Tov? Obviously, because we have an os. So the os of Shabbos and Yom Tov is like tefillin. So Shabbos Yom Tov, you don't have to put tefillin on because you already have the devekus just from the day. The day automatically connects you in. Okay, next. Yeah, is that the next page? Just making sure. Yeah. The only way you can get to it is by elevating your dibur, and to fix it. Your speech, exactly. Your speech is the way you elevate everything to Hashem. Why? Because how did Hashem form the world? So if you learn in Shal Yichud Amunah and Tanya and other Svarim, it was all through the Ruach, through the aspects of speech, the spirit that Hashem put into us, Ruach Mamalala. We were speaking spirits. That's what He put inside us through the power of speech.
So what's it saying, basically? That we have to act godly to be godly, kind of?
Yeah, and through the speech is how
That's how you act godly.
How you get godly, through fixing your speech. Right now is, like we're saying, we're preparing for Shavuot. So one of the things we have to work on during the week is to speak positively about all the Jews, no matter what's going on. Sometimes it can test you, like with Panasa things, you can get tested, but in the end, everyone's trying. I'm working so strong, try to be mitzchus everybody and feel good about people and constantly judge people positively and wish only good for people. Like we just had your mother in the car, that's how she speaks. Just chizuk, positively. That's what's going to bring Mashiach. That's the Messiah from Moshe to Yeshua and Yeshua to Am Yisrael. Rak chazak v'yamat. It's to only give encouragement and courage to people, not to God forbid, dwell on their not good. And that's something avodah-istic. Like today I had a phone call with Alex Clare, and it was all just derech chizuk. And even though we were talking about some difficult things, the whole point was derech chizuk, and he believed in me to talk about it positively. Why are you coming off here? I think it's the next one.
I think that's fine. It's going to come up.
Yeah, you just need to go through. This is a petrol station. The next is to Beit Shemesh. We're getting there. He just went off a tad little bit early over this truck. We got out of the way.
Not bad.
No, it's all good. It's not like you need petrol on a Tesla,
Real
you know?
bad situation.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. It's not like you need petrol on a Tesla, you know?
Exactly.
We'll get through here. Anyway, it's all good. So Hashem slowed us down for a minute because he wants us to learn. So the idea that this is a very deep concept, because it says Hashem gave us the Torah, fiery Torah, and what's the Eish Das Lama? That was a Mimino, that was with the right, and the Oz is the Tefilin. Shinama Hashem Oz Lamo Yitain. Hashem gave us his Oz, and that's the Tefilin. Gemara Meshicha Beberes Mashkov Tefilin Shal Kodesh Baruch Hu. So we know that there's a connection between the Tefilin that we have and the Tefilin of Hashem. So yeah, it's a very deep concept. That just like we have unification with Hashem, so too we have unification with through Tefilin. Yeah. So we have to realize that the Tefillin we have has Yichud, and so too the Tefillin of HaKadosh Baruch Hu has Yichud, a unification. It's a very, very deep concept, but we have to realize that inside Hashem's Tefillin is about Yichud with us. Inside our Tefillin is of Yichud with Hashem. So that's the Gemara and Brachas, very beautiful concept, Brachas Daf Vav. But it's a very, very powerful concept that Hashem's putting Tefillin on to Davik to us, and we're putting Tefillin on to Davik to Hashem, because Hashem also does the mitzvahs. It's a very deep, profound reality that's going on every day. Hashem's putting on Tefillin also, and Davik to us. That's what's in his Tefillin. It's about the Yichud of us. Like we talk about Mincha, yeah, that we say this beautiful lashon of, Echad, Hashem Echad, Ba'aretz, that Hashem is one in the land, but he's talking about he's Echad with Yisrael, with us. And that's a beautiful concept, yeah, in his Tefillin. And this is the idea, connects into this Gevurah. So that we usually say the right is chesed, so this is when he gave us the Torah, was of kindness. Shavuot we have milchiks, and then Tefillin he gave us with the aspect of smaller, which is the oz, the strength, and that's the midas gevurah, and that's Mrs. Tefillin. And we know that Torah is the root, the source of kindness, and it brings down hashpahs, and Tefillah, the mitzvah Tefillin, brings us Yiras Hashem. And it comes upon us, this Yiras Shamayim, because Hashem, what's going to happen is going to give when the true revelation of what Tefillin really is, all the nations will fear. All Kol Ha'aretz Kishem Hashem Nikra Alecha. Yeah, Hashem's going to see that we're going to shine with the Tefillin to the point where the nations will be scared. They won't be able to make war with us. They won't be able to do what they did on October the 7th, because they're going to have a pachad, a fear towards us, because we have the Shem Hashem called upon us.
And it's interesting, you're seeing all over social media pictures of people with their tefillin on, religious, not religious.
Yeah, I mean, this war has changed the flow.
Yeah.
The nations are starting, even if they're turning against us on some level, but maybe not the majority of the people.
They're watching us.
But on a deep level, they're realizing there's something godly going on. And that we're starting to manifest that, instead of trying to be this whole path of appeasement and this lies of like, we can all live happily together with this two-state solution nonsense. We're actually becoming a strong people of recognizing who we are, and this is our homeland, and the world has to recognize that, and they're looking at us and checking us out, how we perform and do everything. So unfortunately, when I was in London, I saw from the BBC how much they lie. The mamish shakranim, they lie. They say we're blowing up civilians and hospitals. We're killing Hamas. We're killing evil people that are protecting the world from evil. We're doing an amazing thing, but they lie about us. But ultimately, the truth will come out, and the yira, the revelation of our godliness and our connection to Hashem Havaya through Tefillin, that will bring down a tremendous yira, and that's the gevurah of Tefillin, the oz, the strength that we're getting. There's a long parish under here about all this. We're not going to go through it all, but there's a concept of checking yourself. It's a very deep concept, something that Rav Shlomo has been talking about. It's very important to check
how you check your tefillin, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. You have to check yourself, check your kosher, check that you are really davik to Hashem. And this, like right now, I'm going through some tests where everyone goes through Parshat Bahar, B'chukos. We're talking about Bahar before, about Shemitah, quoting Gedalia Fenster about...
Are these trees always like this, or it's new?
I think this is new. that we have to let go, like, because we're not in control, and Hashem's running our Panasa, and we can't always be in a state of working. I did a big festival last week, I was in London, and then this week's more quiet. So there's an Indian of Baha, of being, butter. We'll do a podcast of real kindness, hopefully, so that'll be something to do. But the point is that I've got less going on right now, so that's Baha, that's Shemitah, like letting go, letting Hashem run the Panasa flow. And then B'chukosai is a whole parsha of Nisyonis, of Techocha, of not being keri, of not being happenstance, realizing everything is Hashgacha Pratis, that it's not whatever. And Tefilin is also called Yakar. Tefilin is the opposite of keri. Keri is whatever. Things just happen, whatever. Like, like the way the world talks, whatever, everything just happens. That's how the world talks. That's how Bilam Arasha, he was keri. It's also to do with seed as well, not protecting your seed. But Yakar, when you say Yehudim Ma'aseh of Simcha v'Sosim B'Yikar, you kiss your tefillin in the Megillah when you have the tefillin on, or when you have in mind when you say that pasuk Moshe Shabbos of B'Yikar. What's a precious? Precious is us. We're precious, and the tefillin reveal that preciousness. That we have these beautiful neshamas with beautiful Torah and beautiful Devekas. So this is Vayikar, this is Tefilin, it's Vayikar, it's precious in the most deep way, in the most Gavaldic way. So he says underneath, the Devekas we get through the Tefilin, and it's rooted in the speech, how we speak. We were mentioning before, just going over the concept to make sure we understand it. And remember, when Hashem made the world, he did it with his Ruach, with the Var Hashem Shemayim Nasu, Ruach Piv Kol Savam. That's a pasuk that the Shah Yichud Amunah brings. When Hashem created the world, he did it with a Ruach in his mouth, and that's how he formed all the hosts. He called Dibur Shal Kodesh Baruch Hu Asui Meruach Piv Shal HaMedaber. So just like Hashem made the world with Dibur, that's how powerful it is. We also, in a way, build the world through our Dibur. So if we speak positively about Am Yisrael, we're building them up. We're building ourselves up. If we, God forbid, use that power, that koach, that gift that we can daven and learn and talk good about people, we use it not good, then God forbid, it weakens that koach. Shebechinas Malchus Peh, Shebechinas Yam. So he goes on to say, Rebbe Nachman, that Malchus Peh, kingship, which is next week's Sphira and leading up to Shavuot, is all about Malchus is Peh. Malchus, kingship, comes having royalty, having power. You see, like Trump, his power's in his peh, in his mouth, in his dibur. Fine, he doesn't speak the best, he still has a power with it. You see all the people out there who are leaders, it's all to do with how they speak. Shlomo's in a kedusha way, lahavdil, he's speaking Torah peh with Malchus peh, speaking through Torah. That's the aspect of Yam. Remember, we threw the chariots of Paro, our enemies, the horses and the chariots, into the Yam. Shekol hanachalim holchim letocha, k'mo shekosav kol hanachalim holchim elayam. And you have to realize all the nachalim, which is what we're going to now. Funny enough, we're going to Nachal Luz in this Black's bar mitzvah, for his son Yaakov. All the nachalim, the nachals over there in Ramat Beit Shemesh, which we're heading to now, they all head towards the Yam Shel Torah, the Yam of Malchus Peh. Yam is 50. 50 is the 50 days we're counting of Sfiras HaOmer right now. So everything's actually divine providence. It's not whatever. We bechinas Adonai, K'mashikosav Adonai Sifsai Tiftach. And we say in davening every Shmones, we ask Hashem to open up our mouth. It's also Rosh Tevis Ashes, like Ashes Chayil. But the point is that we have to understand that when we're standing in front of Hashem, we're having a yichud, a unification with Hashem. I'm asking Hashem, Hashem to open up my lips, because we realize that we need the heavenly help for us to be able to even pray properly, to have the true kavanah, and have the true devekas, to fix up my mouth. We ask Hashem, open up my mouth so I can speak to you. It becomes, God forbid, the shema of dinim, Adon, shema Adon, shema, not Havaya, but shema Adon. And then we get into this whole thing of Ruach Piv, Ruach Sahara, the storm winds. Kikaf Zayin Osias, Kolachad Kulo Masara Gematria Reish Ayin. So this is a very, very deep concept. We don't have time. I think we'll carry on next week and really explain it deeply. But just to touch on it, there are 27 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. 22 are the normal aleph base, and then there's 5 end letters. 27 times 10. Why are there 10? Because there's 10 vowels. Yes,
10
vowels. In Hebrew, like Sarach, Hirik, all those, that make the A and the U and the A. Yeah, there's 10 times 27 is what? 270. Yeah, which is this Ruach Sara, this storm winds. It's included in the Ruach Sara. Nasa Bechinas Adibor, Haine Bechinas Adonai, Reish Ayin Osius Sara, Samachehu Adonai Ruach Reish Ayin Osius. So the Samache is the Shem Adon, and Reish Ayin is the 27 letters times 10 with the vowels. The point is that if we fix it up, we get out of the storm winds. Who was an example who fixed up the storm winds? Eliyahu Novi. Eliyahu Novi was all still, it was all silence. Min Shemai, I was listening to a shir from Nissan Black. We're going to his bar mitzvah now. I was listening to a shir from Nissan Black, and he was talking about this Indian of the storm winds. And silence Eliyahu Novi brought the concept that in that silence, in that simplicity, in speaking to Hashem and having that explodedness, that deep relationship with Hashem, which Eliyahu Novi had, that's how he was able to bring down the Yeshuas, bring down the salvations for Am Yisrael, to get rid of the state of difficulty the sorrow that Am Yisrael were going through at that time. And he was able to, in the still voice and the still quietness, connect to Hashem in the deepest way, and through there bring about the salvation. So it's a lot to do with that connection, but it's a very silent, deep connection. It's not within all the noise that goes on. And I mean, that's a very deep concept. But basically, by that intimate relationship we have with Hashem in Shemona Esrei, Hashem Sitar Tiftach, we're talking to Hashem, open up my lips and speak. We're fixing up our speech through Tefillah, through Esbodedus, through Shmeres HaLashon. That's one of the big things Joseph Aaron's been doing, learning all these Shmeres HaLashon things. His wife's father. And right now it's my grandmother's Shloshim, so not my grandma, my wife's grandmother, Shloshim, Chana Basvi Hirsch. We should have in mind her soul, and please God, we should only realize that we have a koyach to build worlds, and how precious we are with the Tefilin. The Tefilin manifests the preciousness we have. When we're wearing the Tefilin, we can't just speak whatever. We have to remind ourselves constantly when we're wearing Tefilin, not Hezek Hadas, that we're davik to Hashem constantly. We have a relationship with Hashem constantly, and that will affect our speech by constantly having good habits, hishtavas, consistent good habits. So the good news is we're going to get there in about 12 minutes, so we'll just stop recording now. But I just want to thank Hashem for the opportunity to learn with my holy brother Ari, to learn the holy Diborim of Rebbe Nachman, and to prepare ourselves for Kabalat HaTorah. I will have the schus, please God, on Shavuot to speak in front of the Shirat David community. First time I've ever been asked to speak on Shavuot, and hopefully with these kind of learnings and preparation we'll be in the right state of mind. And the real key is to bring it into our family, to bring it to our home. We're talking a lot about, that's what we're learning in Tanya, bring it to the Shekhinah, bring the Shekhinah home, bring the Divine Presence. It's the most important part of the learning on Shavuot, is afterwards you have the Sudas Yom Tov, to bring it home, to bring it to the family, not just to keep it up in some sort of random, like high up thoughts that you felt good for half an hour in shul or a few hours in shul. The point is to bring it home, to bring it to your wife, to bring it to your kids, to bring it to your guests, to bring it to your work after Shavuos. The whole real tachlis of Torah is to elevate everything. And that's why Rebbe Nachman is saying you have to check yourself constantly. Are you davik to Hashem? Because it's something which we need to do constantly. Tefillin is an example of how to do it. Whether we're wearing tefillin or not, we need to be constantly davik to Hashem, and how we speak is another way of bringing it out. And we should be zocheh to speak good, to give chizuk to people, and be zocheh to a beautiful chana preparation for Kabalat HaTorah and simchas that we have tonight. The parents going to simchas, we're going to a convert simcha. It's like the story of Rus becoming alive. It's Mashiach Dik, someone like Nissan Black, bringing up children in the derech of Torah. Yaakov is a holy bocher. You'll see when we get there. All his family are davik to Hashem. It's amazing, and we should be zocheh to bring out that light to the world. B'shleimus b'mhevi amen. Amen.